You know, people do not realize how good Jean-Claude Van Damme was. Now, in this video, we're going to dive into a couple different things. We're going to dive into a couple interviews talking about how good was Jean-Claude Van Damme as an actor, as a martial artist. And these are people that actually worked with him, directors that I had the pleasure of interviewing, and you'll be able to kind of get their take. We're going to dive into his on-screen presence, how good he was on screen as an actor, how good he was as a martial artist. In my opinion, he is number one uno martial artist film actor ever. Above Bruce Lee, Statham, Stallone. Growing up, Jean-Claude Van Damme was that guy for me. You know, it gave me somebody to, I want to say like emulate or look up to on the movie realm. Personal life, I don't know, wasn't there, but on the movie realm, it gave you something, man. It gave you something to shoot for. It gave you like, all right, I can work kicks. I can work different things. You know, I can become flexible like that. I actually used to put weights on my legs and have weights there and just sit there Indian style, letting the weights stretch me out so I could do a full split, and that's what I did.
By the way, I have to tell you, Jean-Claude, and I know him for many, many years, Jean-Claude is the most fearless person I ever seen in my life. First of all, he's a fantastic caretaker. I can stand here, he will kick me, a roundhouse kick will touch my hair or my super perfect control. Because I know him also outside the movie set. Also, Jean-Claude is fearless. One day he tells me, Isaac, take me to the Muay Thai Academy, where I used to train also in Muay Thai. I want to see what they do. We come there, it's 2 in the afternoon or something, and the guy that is there is Malaipet, that was Lumpini champion. And it was the young guy, I mean, fantastic shape. And Jean-Claude tells him, I want to spar with you. Now, we're talking about a guy that if he can lose, I mean, he's taking a big risk, right?
Mm-hmm.
They sparred, of course, with control. Nobody tried to. And Jean-Claude did a fantastic hooking, perfect control to Malaipet. Malaipet, a very sports guy, you know, he didn't try to. But what I'm saying, fearless. Jean-Claude is really the most fearless guy I ever met.
All right, so let's forget the splits for a second. Let's forget the muscles. I think Van Damme understood something that a lot of martial artists either take a long time to figure out or they just kind of never quite figure out. He understood how to make a fight look incredible on camera.
And actually, on Double Impact, Jean-Claude was doing a lot of the choreography himself with some Chinese guys. And, you know, we had the one famous fight with Jean-Claude versus Bolo Jung.
Yeah.
And, you know, Bolo had a few ideas for that one, too. But it was mostly Jean-Claude. Jean-Claude came up with a lot of those ideas. And, you know, generally I would choose the angles, but then he would have some say-so.
And another thing about Jean-Claude, you can give him a complicated choreography. Not only a fight stuff. You move and the camera move here, and you move here and the camera move here, and he does it in the first take perfectly.
I mean, picking up choreography like that and being able to just go through the whole scene is not easy. You do a 30-something beat fight with different fighters and remembering where each placement is, knowing, okay, you're doing a 3-punch combo here, you're taking a side kick here, you want to end up over here, and you want this person to end up over here. It's a lot more than people realize when you're putting together a fight scene. So being able to have that and to know placement and know everything, and that tells me he had a natural knack for just understanding these things. And some people just have that. His camera awareness to be able to hold certain positions for a certain amount of time and then dive in back into the fight to let the fight breathe a little bit, you know, to pop, 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 boom, bam, and then go back into it. It's like a living organism a little bit when you're building a fight. to let it breathe, to give it space to grow, and then maybe somebody comes up with another move, having that awareness. The big clean kicks, selling the impact of the fight. I mean, there's a video was known for that, you know. He takes the shot to the leg and he drops like in Lionheart, boom, boom. Like he does a lot of that stuff, you know, really selling it, and it sells the emotion. So he sold with the emotion too, not just a cool kick or a cool punch, which he did, but the emotion within it is what, and you go all in on a certain kick or a punch, and that's all it is. Because if you believe it, the audience believes it, and he knew that too. He believed it. He believed it was core, but the kick, boom, taking the shot. You know, it's like a lot of times when you're working with a coordinator and you're building out a fight, they're gonna usually have like a already set of what they want to see in their head. And a lot of times you can go in there, or I shouldn't say that either. So they sometimes they have that. You go in and you're boom, boom. Hey, let me add this. Let me add that to it. Hey, let me do a kick, or maybe a move's not working. You're just not. It's not connecting right. It's just not working. You change the move, or I'll have where if I'm working with a coordinator, the fight will be built out right there. We'll just build it out, and you start bouncing off each other. Boom, boom. And some people you're gonna bounce off of good, and some people you're not going to bounce off as much. Like there might be some friction there and you're not able to gel with each other, and that happens. I will say one thing, like in that era of movies, the training sequences, they like pushed you to train. I don't know what it was, but when I was a kid and I'd watch Lionhearts, the Kickboxer, the Bloodsport, it made you want to train. Like, I remember after watching those movies, I'd go outside. It was like watching like a motivational YouTube video now, you know?
Putting some really good actors in with Jean-Claude. And they weren't doing this with some of the earlier films, some of the other films. They basically just throwing in whoever they could, whoever was inexpensive. But with Jim Tarzia's help, we got good actors in there with Jean-Claude. And what would happen with a good actor, you put him in a scene with a good actor, and he's very competitive. So he's not going to let Harrison Page outact him. He's going to he's going to rise to the occasion, and he's going to be just as good as that guy. It worked that way. Yeah, and we had Alan Scarf was a really Alan Scarf just died about a week ago, by the way. He was one of the villains in Double Impact, but he was a fantastic actor, and basically Jean-Claude had to up his game to be able to be in a scene with Alan Scarf. You got to be good. Yeah, you're not going to let this guy outshine you. So
and I think that too, like if you're in there with one-liner actors too, it almost not that it brings you down, but it kind of does, because your energy, you're not able to bounce that energy level at each other like when you're acting with like a top-notch actor, you know?
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. So we were not afraid to put Jean-Claude in with some really good actors, because it upped his game. It made him not want to get shown up by these actors who had been doing this for years and years. And it worked out really well, especially in Lionheart and Double Impact. His acting is impeccable.
Was Jean-Claude ever taking any type of training for acting at all?
He got set up with some acting coaches a couple of times, and he got bored real quickly. So they just did not stick with it. And he was just a natural. He's he's got these great instincts for acting, and you put him in the right role, and he's going to rise to the occasion.
He was so good as an actor. That's what's crazy. I think he had a lot of access to his emotions. You know, being a good actor is having access to your emotions and being able to authentically bring that up on screen. So he probably had a lot of experience growing up that he was able to tap into that stuff, but he never really took acting classes, and he was able to just access that and just be natural on camera or rise to the occasion. Like he just had every aspect, in my opinion, that makes you an amazing action actor. You know, think about that. Here's a guy primarily known as a martial artist coming into Hollywood without traditional acting training, and somehow he had this natural ability to connect with the camera. Now, it's not Shakespeare. That's not what I'm saying. What Van Damme had was presence. You wanted to watch him. And that's something acting classes can't necessarily teach you. So now you got a guy who can legitimately move, understands how to perform a fight for the camera, has the look, has the charisma, and apparently had a natural instinct for acting. Now you start understanding why this guy became one of the biggest action stars in the world. Jean-Claude Van Damme became so famous that I think people eventually forgot why he became famous. Yeah, everybody remembers the splits, and everybody remembers the spin kicks. Everybody remembers the memes. But go back and actually watch those movies. Watch the timing. Watch how he uses the camera. Watch how he sells the fights. I mean, this guy was really that good. All right, so where do you rank Jean-Claude Van Damme among the greatest screen fighters of all time? Are you a Bruce Lee fan? Maybe Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Van Damme, Scott Adkins, Michael Jai White? Where are you at? Drop below. I want to know. I really appreciate you watching and tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, drop a comment down below. If you want to see more interviews, click right here. If you want to see me in action, click right here. And thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the next video.